It's a common complaint that streaming can cost just as much as cable these days. And that's true, it can, if you pay for literally everything out there. But the reality of streaming is that you get a choice. It's a beautiful thing, freedom. But that much choice requires discipline. So today we're going to talk about budgeting for your streaming services. I'm going to give examples of 3 different budget tiers and how I would fill them, starting from least and going to most expensive. Obviously, I can only do this for myself. You know your situation and your tastes better than I do, so I'm not presenting the absolute must-have bundles, but I am going to show you an example of how I would go about doing this. So, are you ready? Strap in, let's dive in. Thanks for joining me today, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy this video or if you find it helpful or entertaining in some way. All right, so let's get to it. Like I said up top, the trick here is we need to set a budget and stick to it. We could go with a monthly budget since that's how most streaming services price their services, by the month. But instead, I'm going to talk about an annual budget, and I'm going to make that clear as to why in just a few moments. First, let's talk about what we have to choose from based on their monthly costs. Okay, so we've got Netflix, we've got the Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus bundle. We'll just call that the Disney bundle from here on out. We've got HBO Max, Apple TV Plus, Paramount Plus, Discovery Plus, Prime Video, and you'll notice that Peacock is missing from this list. I'll tell you why in just a few minutes, okay? We'll get back to that. Originally, my budget tiers were gonna be $30, $50, and $80 a month, but I decided to go annual on this so that I could more easily mix in things like sports streaming, like MLB TV, which I just reactivated for the year. With that in mind, the new budget tiers for this video are $400, $600, and $1,000 per year. The question is, what can we fit in there? Well, let's start with the easy one. I say it's easy, but it's the lowest tier, the $400 per year tier here. And I say it's easy because restricting your budget like that actually makes you kind of focus on what it is you would actually want to watch. And that can provide a little more clarity for you. Sometimes it's nice to chop that budget down a little bit, right? So with that in mind, I'm gonna go with the Disney bundle, Apple TV Plus, Paramount Plus, and Discovery Plus. That comes out to $348 a year. Gives me a little bit of room for tax, that sort of thing. So why did I choose these ones? Well, it's pretty simple. In my situation, it's me, my wife, and 2 kids at home, and so there's something in here for everybody to enjoy. Simple as that. So what if we bump it up to $600 a year? Now I've got a little bit more room to work with, and in some ways it's easier because I can bring more services in. But on the other hand, it's harder because now I have to decide which ones are worth bringing into the fold. Well, in this case, I'm actually going to kick Paramount Plus and Discovery Plus from my lower bundle, bring in Prime Video and HBO Max. So now my $600 a year bundle looks like this. I've got Netflix, HBO Max, Prime Video, and Apple TV Plus. That comes out to just under $565 per year. Again, a little bit of wiggle room. You can factor taxes in there, or you can just say, hey, I've got a little extra room if I want to sign up for this or that service for 1 month or 2 months just to watch some show. And now we get to our top tier bundle, $1,000 a year. And this one definitely throws a wrench in the works because we're gonna bring in something that we haven't been able to up to this point, and that is live TV streamers. So I'm talking the YouTube TVs, Hulu Lives, Sling TV, that sort of thing. While there are exceptions out there, if you only get half of a Sling TV subscription, or if you go with Philo or something like that, there are exceptions. But for the most part, if you're going to get a live TV streamer, a paid version, a cable imitator, it's going to cost you at least $50 a month, usually more like 65 plus. That $50 a month is $600 a year. That would fill our entire middle tier. That just blows the budget right out of the water. So we had to save it until we got to this tier. And as an aside, these services are so expensive that it makes me wonder if the people who are complaining about having to pay for streaming just like they had to pay for cable are really just paying for the streaming version of cable. It's expensive either way you go. Did that make any sense? Whatever, it's a rant, it doesn't have to. So if we do want to put a live TV streamer in here, here's an example of what we could do. I can bring in YouTube TV at $65 a month and Netflix. That already, just those two, gets us to $966 a year, just under our $1,000 limit. Yikes. But still, if a live TV streamer is important to you, then there is that option for you. As an alternative, let's look at this set of streamers, okay? I've got Netflix, I've got Disney, the Disney bundle, HBO Max, Apple TV Plus, Paramount Plus, Discovery Plus, and Prime Video, all in the same bundle, and then I can put in my MLB TV yearly cost at $129, and that comes out to $981.96. Almost exactly the same price as we had before, but with a ton of other options in there. So the moral of this story is, if you let go of cable, and I mean really let go of cable, even the cable imitators, you can save a ton of money or have room for a lot more entertainment options. And of course, whatever your budget is, you can always mix in the free streamers. This is where Peacock comes in. I left it off my list because it has a free tier that's pretty darn good. It does have the premium tiers as well, and you could go for that, but you don't have to. But you also have things like Tubi and like Pluto TV, IMDb TV, the Roku channel, all sorts of options to give you a ton of free content that's generally going to be commercial supported. And if you want to get some other ideas on how to fill out your streaming package with free content, check out my top 10 free channels on fill in the blank. I've done Roku, I've done Fire TV, Apple TV, Google TV, all of them. So search this channel and you'll find a bunch of those. Okay, so now we've seen what would fit in my budget, whichever tier I go for, but I'm curious about yours. Which streaming apps just don't make the cut, or which ones have to make the cut? For me, Apple TV Plus, I love it so much, it's going to be in whatever bundle I choose, which is easy because it's only $5 a month. But Netflix, it didn't make the cut in that first tier. So I'm curious what the must-haves are for you, what your budget is, how you come to those decisions. Please let us know in the comments. Let's have some conversation and have a good time trying to figure out what the best streamers are out there for each of us. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to come by here every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern for the live streams that I do right here on this channel. I'd love to see you there. Have a good one.